All right, for these last four, we're working on surveys and kind of it's a use for these Venn diagrams so that we've been learning about. So for number 43, we have this survey that was taken about whether people watch movies with Netflix, Redbox, or going to a video store. And so there's a lot of combo deals going on. Like sometimes they do all three of those things. Sometimes they only do one of them. So since there is some overlap, I'm going to draw the three circles with an overlap, and I kind of start from the bottom so I can work with those intersections. So it says 10 used all three, so I'm going to write the number 10 right in the center, and I'm going to identify, just because of the order that they're written, that'll be Netflix, Redbox, and then video store. So then we know that 25 people use none of these. So there's 25 people living outside, and really I could make this a little more complete by drawing the rectangle, and then we could see that's our whole universe. And then kind of continuing to work on, we know that 30 use the video store and Netflix. Now notice it does say the word only. So we saw in some of our other videos that we would have to do some sort of subtraction, because we would say, oh, well, that means that the video store and Netflix, so like this whole section, video store and Netflix, that overlap, should equal 30. But actually, because it says 30 use only the video store and Netflix, those 30 would have to live right outside there. Because the people that are 10, they also do the Redbox. So that's an important distinction there. Now 48 use only Netflix and Redbox, so we're going to put 48 in there. We have 16 people use only a video store and Redbox, so that's going to be outside there. And we have 24 people using only the video store. So again, that's outside here because there's no overlap because they only use that. 62 people are using the Redbox, and 52 people are using just Netflix. So only is very important here. So the question is, use those results to determine how many people actually use Redbox. So if I look at the Redbox group or set here, I'm going to add up all those numbers. So if we add the 48, 62, 10, and 16, punching that into a calculator, we're going to get that there are 136 people that use Redbox. So notice that I'm not writing the word only, because these are people that are also, could be also using those other pieces of Netflix or the video store. All right, for the next one, we have 44. I'm going to kind of switch to the other side here, just making sure I have enough space. Again, we have another survey. This time we're talking about color, size, and brand influencing your choice of cell phone. How many people were influenced by brand? So we can see down below that there is some overlap. Some people are concerned about the color and size. Some are concerned about the brand. And again, I see that word only floating around. So we're going to start by, I'm going to draw my three circles. And I, again, know there's some overlap. And starting with the bottom that says 102 said all three. That's going to be 102 inside there. And I have that 20 people said none of those. So that's the 20 that live outside. And again, I should put, this is going to be the color, the size, and the brand. And I could draw inside a rectangle. Yeah, I kind of short on space. Let's see. So we have 53 people said only size and brand. So 53 people would be living right here. Again, only size and brand, so they don't care about the color. 42 said only color and brand. So those 42 would have to live inside there. 20 people said only color and size. And let's see, we have 16 that said only the brand. So 16 living out here. 8 said only the size, and 5 said only the color. So when we're looking at how many people are influenced by brand, wow, there's a lot of people in here, we're going to add up those numbers. So we have 42, 102, 53, and 16. Punch that all into a calculator, and we're going to get 213, I believe, that are influenced by the brand. Again, no subtraction going on there because we see that word only happening a lot, which implies that there can't be that overlap. So this next one, we're told again, use a Venn diagram here to determine how many students have seen exactly one of these movies. So we're talking about Matrix, Lord of the Rings, and Star Wars. I do see some overlap in those those people. So I'm going to draw all three, and I'm going to use the notation they said. So this will be the Matrix, this will be the Star Wars, and this will be the Lord of the Rings. And again, I want to start with the intersection pieces. So it says that 6 people have seen all 3. So I'm going to write a 6 right in the middle. Then it says that 12 have seen the Matrix and Lord of the Rings. So notice it does not say the word only. So that's telling me that when I'm looking at Matrix and Lord of the Ring, that's that intersection, that total has to be 12. So that's going to make me put a 6 right inside of there, because 6 plus 6 makes that 12. Now there's 14 people that have seen Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. So Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. So I'm looking at that intersection, and it's 14. So 14 take 6 away will make 8. Or you could think 8 plus 6 totals 14, which is what it said. Then we have 10 people that have seen Matrix and Star Wars. So looking at that, try and switch to a different color. Matrix and Star Wars would be this whole group here. And it says 10 people. So 6 plus 4 makes 10. And then again, continuing on, it says that 20 people have seen Lord of the Rings. So we know that this entire circle here is supposed to be equal to 20. So we add 6 and 6, that's 12, and 8, that's 20. Oh, that's totally 20. So that means there's no people that have seen Lord of the Rings and haven't seen The Matrix or Star Wars. Okay, 24 people have seen Star Wars. So I'm going to, again, kind of highlight. This is the Star Wars circle. It's got to be 24. So far, 4 plus 6 is 10. Add the 8, so we're at 18. So we need to get to 24. So 18 plus what makes 24? That would be 6. But you can also do 24 minus 18 if that makes you feel better, which makes you get 6. And lastly, it says 18 have seen The Matrix. So the last big circle here has to equal 18. So far I have 6 and 6 is 12, plus 4 is 16 total. So I could do 18 minus the 16 to make 2. Again, you can add that whole circle together and it should add to 18. So the question is, how many people have seen only, actually, let's get the part A. Let me step back. For part A, how many students have seen exactly one of these movies? So exactly one of these movies, that would be looking at these outside numbers, because they've only seen The Matrix. That's one movie. They've only seen Star Wars, and there's 0 in there, but they've only seen Lord of the Rings. So that would be a total of 8. So for part A, we're going to have 8 people. For part B, it says, how many have seen only Star Wars? So for part B, if we're looking at only Star Wars, we're going to say that's 6 people. That's this people right here, because they haven't seen any other movie except for Star Wars. All right, the last one, 46. We asked what alternative transportation modes people use. And so they were talking about, let's see, what do we have? A bus, bike, and walking. So I'm going to draw my 3 circles. This is my Venn diagram to try and figure out what all these numbers mean. So I'm going to write people that ride the bus first. So we'll have bus, bike, and walk. And we know that there are 2% of all the people asked use 3. So I'm going to write just the numbers, but we know that they're in terms of percent. And we know that percent, if we're talking about a survey, if all the people asked, that would total 100%. So we want the entire total here to equal 100%. Okay, so next we have that there are 12 people that use the bus and walk. So bus and walk is 12. So 12 take away the 2 makes 10. And then we have 10 people ride a bike and walk. So ride a bike and walk has to add up to 10. So we could do 10 minus 2. So that's 8. So we have 8 people there. And then we have 5% that use the bus and ride a bike. So we're looking at that intersection. That has to be 5. So I just know that would have to be 3. Then we know that there are 25% of the people walk. So inside here, this has to equal 25. So far I see a 10, 2, 8. That's actually equal to 20. So I need 5 more people out there. Or I could say 25 minus that 20, which gets me 5. Then I know that there are 20% ride a bike. So the ride a bike total has to be 20. So I have 3 and 2, that's 5, plus 8 is 13. So 20, which was the total, minus the 13 is 7. So 7 people have to live in there. And then 30% use the bus. So this big circle has to be 30. So 10 plus 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15. So 30 minus the 15 is going to be 15. So we have 15 in there. Again, a whole circle should be 30. And altogether, again, the whole thing should be 100%. So part A says, what percent of people only ride a bus? So for part A, only riding a bus would be 15. So you can see once we fill out the Venn diagram, then it's a lot easier to answer these questions. For part B, it says, how many people don't use any alternative transportation? And so that's, again, where it's important to know that our total universe is 100%. That's all the people surveyed. So if I add up all the numbers that are in here, so like looking at the bus, I know the total for the bus already because it was already stated that 30 people use the bus, so 30%. So I know that's 30 plus, I know I'm going to add 7 and 8, that's 15 together, plus the number 5, that was the only part not used yet. So 15 and 5, that's 20, so that's 50. So 50% use an alternative method. That means that the other 50, because 100 minus 50, are going to live outside that circle, which means that they don't use any transportation. So if we say 100 minus that 50, that's going to be 50%. Again, is what we were talking about. All right, hope that helps.